This is going to connect with the theft in the garden, and where we said that the double portion of the reward. And I'm having a really difficult time with this because it wants to be all expansive, because it's everything and it's all connected. The difficulty is I can break things down in definition and see, as decoding, because that's what our gift is. But it doesn't really assist, as you know, it doesn't really assist other people that are still, there's some amazing, lovely people in Christianity that are needing it presented in a way that it connects with the Bible, that they can then see a doorway out. Because we can just present information as code and just simply say this, but then we're not connecting it as building a bridge. So the difficulty is that it gets so expansive sometimes, is that I can see what it's saying and I can go in many directions and still bring it around, but to do that I have to open like 20 files, and it's very different to have any kind of a flow that brings it in a directive. So I'm going to do my very best. This has been very difficult to move beyond this thing in the garden, to catch the thief, and then to express, why I said peace, peace, and then sudden destruction. And I really didn't want to say that. I felt it was more spirit. It was very organic, and it came out. And I want to say why I said that, because I know the world has said peace, peace. They're going to say peace, peace, and safety, safety. Then sudden destruction comes upon you. But I want to tether that in a little bit and say why I said that, and that's kind of what we're going to express right now. So we've already done this teaching, and it got so heavy in information that my wife actually curled up in the fetal position on the couch, and she said, that is a lot. And I realized it was.
And that's true. That's exactly what I did.
And I have my gauge is spirit, and if it starts to become too bogged down, I feel a little anxiety within me that I haven't done my job to render it a little bit clearer. So I'm trying to do my best to segment this out so we can release it, so people can at least flow and connect with it, because I know we move quick and there's a lot of information. So instead of breaking down this verse right now, I'm going to read it through the 22 occurrences of catching the thief, even though there's amazing stuff in here. We're just simply going to read it through, and then I'm going to go another way, and then we're going to come back to it to explain why I'm doing this, because this we got to figure out what death is, and this is why we're going to read this. So can you read through this verse right here?
Just the mechanical translation?
Just the mechanical translation.
Okay. So just for you guys, if you don't know what a mechanical translation is instead of grammatical reasons, it's just a word-by-word translation that translators did, so it's going to read clunky. If breaking in is found the thief, and he is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt for his bloodshed.
Okay.
And there shall be was added for grammatical purposes, because that wasn't part of the original text.
So we have just some issues in it. We have bloodshed, and that if he dies, and we already know that there's some morphology in the language going on here, but I need to bring clarity before I can bring clarity to this, that this is rendering clear, delivering oneself from guilt and from the bloodshed, because even this word dom is a different spelling. There's only a couple occurrences of this, the way this is spelled. And so let's move on to the next one now, the occurrence. We're just going to read this through. And so the next occurrence is going to be in, working through my file, in Exodus 22:3. These are all the 22 occurrences of the journey of love. We've gone back to the garden. The man is now allowed to enter past the flaming sword back into the garden. This is all inside work. And now a measure is promised. So go ahead and read this.
If has risen the sun on him, guilt for his bloodshed full, he should make restitution. If has nothing he, then he should be sold for his theft.
Right. And can you go please up to full for his bloodshed, full restitution?
Yeah.
And what's the word for full?
It's shalem, which is the root for shalom.
And then the next word?
It's the same word.
It's the same word. Shalom, shalom.
Mm-hmm.
Peace, peace. Okay? Yep. Peace, peace. Okay. And then we're going to go to the next occurrence is going to be in 22:4.
If surely is found in his hand the theft, whether it is an ox or a donkey or a sheep, alive, double he shall restore.
Right, and what is the word for restore?
It's shalem
Okay,
again.
and then can you go back up in that verse up to where it says, surely is found?
Mm-hmm. So we have the matzah and the matzah.
So matzah,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Is found is found.
Okay. And the first occurrence for matzah is in Genesis 2:20.
Yep. But for Adam there was not found a helper.
Okay, but the helper is found now. So, okay, so now we're going to read another one. These are all and I just want to read these through. So I haven't forgotten about these. I'm just going to come from a different angle to assist. And so let's read 22:7. So these are all the occurrences of the portion or the law that delivers back the double portion.
If delivers a man to his neighbor money or articles to keep, and it is stolen out of the house of the man, if is found the thief, he shall pay double.
And what is the word for
Pay?
he shall pay.
That's shalom again, same root, 7999.
Right. And then we have double, which is 2. Okay.
And then we have the word matzah again.
Then you have the word matzah again.
Yep. Found.
And okay, and I think that's the last one we need to do. You can read the last one. I think there's another one in Exodus 22:8. This should be the last occurrence of these laws of finding.
If not is found the thief, then shall be brought the master of the house to the judges, whether he has put his hand into the goods of his neighbor.
Okay, so this is now the last one and is found, but I have to break these ones down for you, but we're going to do this after. But this one is not found the thief.
Right.
If you haven't found the double measure, then you're brought before the judges. Okay. And it's a master.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, you brought.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Before the Elohim.
Before the Elohim, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then you have also before that, you have this is the master.
Right, which is also a word for Baal, which is husband.
Right, so these are the masters. These
and the husbands.
Right, so but we're not going to go into that. But yeah, so you'll be brought before so this is a big deal that I'm trying to, and I felt the spirit on what I was doing this morning. I feel it how I feel it. But this is a really big deal, and this is why I feel the weight of responsibility to make sure we comprehend peace, because of really what's transacting here, and we're gonna go there right now. So
I'm just still tripping on the fact that they translated it as judges.
Right.
And it's Elohim.
It's Elohim.
And we were already talking about the gardener and the garden, who the judges are, and it connects to Elohim.
Absolutely.
Like, this is big.
Yeah, this is what's coming.
And this connects, by the way, just to let you know, to the angel morphism, which I've been sharing with people on the channel. Mm-hmm. This is super big.
What's coming in, I felt this morning, and I got a little rocked this morning, and I felt like I'll share this because of just the judges, because the adjudicator is coming. Now, it may be an outside body, which we would call a planetary body that's coming in. And the adjudicator is what a lot of people define as Wormwood. And Wormwood is nothing to be fearful of. Wormwood is coming as the adjudicator, and it's bringing an order. It's bringing in a frequency. It's bringing in calibration. And for those that have done the preemptive work, it's going to calibrate them into the essence of light.
Isn't it also known as the nemesis?
It is called the nemesis, but
only if you're not matched the frequency.
Right.
Which is like the same thing with Mother, in matching her frequency so you can go to Father.
Right. So we also, Wormwood is not a bad thing. Wormwood is actually a very good thing, because it really is the bitter of Mother. Mother's coming as the form of judges.
Because her standard measurement is the golden rule.
Right.
And she's an adversarial component to you if you are not equal measurement of the golden rule, if you haven't learned that and become that yet. Yeah. That's the minimum standard.
Yeah. And so you can look at the word just to see this, you can look at the word 3939. Because we've already talked about the bitter of the head wound.
Oh my gosh.
And so, yeah, Ana. And you can take that to 60-30. Because it's right there. These are the teachers of Ana, and it's the same spelling, but this is what Wormwood is going to be.
Exactly.
Wormwood is going to be a testimony and a witness to the mother and the father that this is the way we should have been walking, because this is what perpetuity is, and really is creating heirs, whether we're sons or daughters. This is what it is.
Well, and I think it's beautiful that it says to eye or to heed. And the word starts with the ayin.
And we're going to talk about the ayin.
Because we've been sharing about how big of a deal the ayin is, with the fountain of the living waters on the inside.
Right.
The fountain of the deep. Those that take the spiritual path, that have revelation.
And this is tied to Jacob and Esau, actually. It ties into the bitter of what Esau was asking Jacob to feed me. We can actually see it in, if you go, just do this really.
That's right. This is tied to the house of answers.
Go to 25:30.
Right?
Go to 25:30. Genesis 25:30. We're just gonna. This isn't what I wanted to do, but because we went to Wormwood, this is how it just goes. I want it to go organic and where the Spirit wants it to go. I don't want to control anything. I just want to be led.
Well, and generally it'll pull it back on track where you were wanting to take us anyway.
And I know where I'm going to go. It's just going to be a lengthy teaching on this one to bring it around. So we can go through this very quick, just like and said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see we have in humility, speak, Esau. But Esau is really, if you can go into Esau 62:15, and then there's an A. So this is the squeeze.
Interesting. I did not know that was the root of his name.
Yeah, he was accomplished.
That's also the do or make.
Yeah.
To make or do.
So again, perspective is everything, and we have to see it from a heavenly perspective. Is that we know that there's a lesser narrative that's being projected from the pulpit, but there's also a higher narrative that's hidden in the code of the language. And our job is what we're mandated to do is to extract this to really separate out.
But it's interesting, though, in looking at this. So the root of his name had a hey on the end of it.
Yeah.
But his name doesn't have the hey. It has a vav.
Right.
Meaning there's a connection to Father.
Right.
But there's no hey.
Right. But this is how it's really saying this is how you show, and you can go to 62:14. And you can see a little variation of what you're trying to say, because the hey is added now, and now we have as an L ship.
Yeah.
Right, and so now this is now made as right as L.
Mm-hmm. And the strong leader teaching shepherds.
Right.
That are one with the teaching shepherd.
Right.
So.
Right. So. And then the next word in this verse is L. So he said to L, he said, accomplish, this is what you're to do. And again, the code is different than reading it as a Bible story. You're
right. It's reading it. It's to us today for the eyes to see. It's that esoteric analogy.
Right. So we can see
symbology.
The narrative, and if we go into the narrative and we try to pull up Father's higher revelation, we have a tendency to tangle. You can do that. That's not a problem, because that's how we did it at first. And then we found out as we moved and morphed, we just went into the higher narrative, and now we can extract out just the raw code and speak it differently.
Right.
So we can go both ways. It's just a little difficult. But Esau was this, and I know he was that, but we need to separate from that, because that was a past. Now we're in the now, looking at the future.
Exactly.
And so this is what's going on here. So now Esau is a frequency, as Yeshua, as everything is a frequency. So now Esau shows us potential to become El through placing the hay back in the name. And that's what was taken from the garden, the bet and the hay.
Right.
That's the theft.
Right.
So now we have to Jacob.
And he has a quadration above.
Right.
His name, meaning a gift from God, as the quadrated ones.
Right, and this is, and in his name it means followed at the heel, but really he's, they call me usurper. That is not true. That's not really.
He's one who catches the heel.
Right,
that tried to crush his head.
Right. Right. So, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this one, but
No.
go to feed me 3938 in this verse.
La'at, to swallow greedily, to feed. That's interesting because that connects us back to Genesis 1:1.
Right.
To feed.
But is there a root to that?
On this one, it just says it's a primitive root.
Okay, then there is.
And this is the only time that this word is used is in this verse.
Right. But it's also the spelling for wormwood. Right? Lamed, ayin, nun, hey.
Let me.
The only thing that's missing, well, there's choice in this word.
Yeah, that's right. The text.
So he's asking, give me choice. There's only one occurrence of this. He's saying choice. You have choice, Jacob or Esau. So you have to accomplish this. You're given choice. But in this word that's wormwood without the tet.
What was that again? Let me pull that up.
That one was, hold on. It was 39:39. So now he's giving, feed me, Jacob, the vision, the power and the means and direction of the bitter. He's asking for the red. He's asking for the red.
Yeah, and it's interesting that it's in this too. We've got the noon there.
Mm-hmm.
So feed me with the spiritual path that would lead me to have incorruptible flesh.
Right. And
but it is through mother.
It's through a mother's
First.
Right, the mother's revelation first, which is we know is the bitter.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the red from, because even through the nemesis, it's the red dwarf that's coming in. And it's the bitter. That's why it's called wormwood. It's the bitter that's coming in. And this is the revelation of what's coming in. And so feed me this, 122, right?
That is so crazy. Feed me the red. Feed me the red.
Right.
It's the same exact word twice.
Same exact word twice.
And they added stew.
Right.
Feed me the red.
Feed me the red. Ha'adam.
And so, generally, just so people know, whenever something is used twice in Scripture, it's stressing double importance here.
Now,
like double importance.
Right. Now, you also know ze, right? You know that where it roots out at?
Lamb.
Lamb.
Yep.
Right? So we don't need to go there, but you know that's where it roots out at. It roots out at the lamb. So feed me this, lamb. Which
is interesting because it's the sword and the plow.
Right.
That's between the two revelations. So mother's revelation is going to be the plow and the sword to get you ready to be able to receive the father's revelation as a lamb.
Right.
And if anybody has listened to some of my previous teachings, we've been talking about the Lamb of God. We've been talking about the Lamb in the book of Revelation. So this is actually a really big connect here.
So feed me this, for I am weary.
Because it's connected to the word, Amar.
Yeah.
So feed me the word, the revelation through mother.
Feed
and through
me, and that's where we're going
as a sheep.
This is where we're going to go, is that I need to break down what this is, that the double peace and the double measure, because peace and safety, they shall say, and then sudden destruction. Okay, I want to break that down.
Right.
But so we're just going to quickly go through this. For weary am I, Enoki.
No, and just saying that, there's a lot of people that are weary right now.
Yeah, and so weary am I, Enoki, and then we have upon, thus, Ken.
Right.
Was called his name.
Right, Shemo.
And but his name is now that's an added vav, we know that.
Yep, and it's of the fire and living water.
Right.
That is filled up.
So this is a meek one now. This one is completely established, that is connected or secured. His name is now secure in the earth, and this is what it really means. So the name is secure. The name has been established in the earth. The vav means security. So now it's secured in the earth. His name. And now we have the last one, Edom. Right? Aleph, Dalet, Vav, Mem. I think that's the last word, right?
Yeah. So it's pierced in the heart.
Right?
It's Adam.
Right?
Of the red.
Of the red.
That was pierced.
Right.
Within his heart.
Right.
And filled up.
Right. Completely filled up.
Completely.
So, now, so there's wormwood.
So one blood.
Right.
Becoming one blood.
Right.
Of the as the family of the ruddy red ones.
Right. And then...
Because they went through the door of their heart where they were pierced through the living water teachings.
Right, and then can you go, just to connect this real quick so people can see, go to Deuteronomy 29:18. Or you can go to Roche. Go to 72:1. Go to this instead. Go to Strong 7219. Probably better to see it this way for people.
Okay, yeah.
And then on the sidebar.
Yep, it says Wormwood.
Wormwood.
Yep.
Okay, so just so people can say that.
Yep.
And then we have gall.
Oh, and there's Wormwood right there.
Right.
But that's also testimony and witness.
Testimony and witness. Right. Okay.
The teachers of light.
Okay. Just one.
So that's just so crazy to me that right there, a teacher of light, is considered, that's Wormwood.
Right.
Because they have to present the bitter waters of Mother first.
Right.
Wow.
And.
Wow. And even in Deuteronomy 32:32.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're all.
Marar, it's the bitterness that will lead you through the two teachings to the Father's covenant. That's like, this is really, it's pretty.
So he ate the bitter, like even in Genesis, we just did Genesis 25:30, right? That's what we did. So please let me have a swallow of that red, and we can see that he had the swallow, he ate greedily, right? The primitive root is 39:38, and there's only one occurrence of that, and that's what it is. So he swallowed the lamed ayin tet. He swallowed the knowing of choice, right? Or the teachings of intimate knowing while in the earth. He was choosing what is and what is not. And then all his occurrences of wormwood, the bitter, down that side. You probably have all those.
Let me go down here.
I don't know if you...
The Roche.
Well, I think that was in the 39, the wormwood ones, but that's where it was. All the
39, you can go back. Lena,
and then you should have it through Deuteronomy,
Wormwood.
Proverbs, right?
Mm-hmm, Jeremiah.
And so stop at Proverbs 5:4. The sharp sword.
Yeah.
Okay, just to show people that this isn't a scary thing, and give them. And go to Jeremiah 9:19 or 9:15.
Yep.
Water. And then Lamentations 3:15.
Yep.
And just go slow through those so people can see, because I don't want to spend too much time there, because this is a lot of work to do this.
Right, and that's drink.
This is more of would be a sit-down teaching with people to break down one verse. Because they're...
Aleph, Av, Tav, Mem.
Right.
Otam. So they're eating and drinking of the Aleph, which is connected to the Tav, the first and the last, the language to be a sign, signal, beacon, miracle through the twin covenants.
Yeah.
Tav, Mem. That is so big.
Yeah. So.
And then Shakat to drink. Yom Mi. That's amazing, because that's Asherah of the water.
Right.
Wow.
So all of these verses are pretty big.
Yeah, and look at Amos 5:7 and 6:12.
Double
lameds.
Right.
In front.
Yeah. Do run on the rocks, the horses.
And then there's Zadikah, righteousness.
Yeah. So.
And it's fruit. Look at this.
Yeah, I know.
Pari.
I've done.
Zadikah.
Yeah.
That's wow.
So even if you went into Proverbs 5:4, but in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a sword, two-edged. So these are all been done, but again, so bitter. I'm telling you, what the Spirit's showing me right now is wormwood is coming.
Akarit. This is where we are now, in the end.
We're in the end. And so this is coming, and I felt it very strong this morning, and this isn't even what I want to share on, but this probably needs to go out sooner than later. But
this is the whole.
But
the whole. The all.
The completed.
The teachers that are the witnesses.
Well, they're
testimony.
They're judges, and this is what's coming out of them. And I don't think anyone is even, because King Arthur, the story of King Arthur, where the sword comes out of his back, is actually Uther Pendragon. It means the bear, and then I can't remember the Pendragon part. I have it in another file, but this is why they had it in even the new story about what the sword coming out of his back was. This is what comes from within us, and this is whether it be authority and power, but this is the pay in the mouth that comes out of the body.
that het dalet right there, that also means splendor and glory, right? And then there's a diamond, quadrated. Part of the 144,000 is a gift from God that have the revelation. Like, that's a big word.
There's a lot of this.
And it also, in Aramaic, that is how you write unified and one.
Right.
Chod.
Right.
That's how you see it in Aramaic. So when it says, I and my Father are one,
Yep.
it's right there.
Yeah, and we're gonna move from this right now because there's a lot in this, and we could spend a lot of time on here. This isn't what I wanted to get into, to breaking down some other stuff here.
P, mouth.
Yeah.
Two-edged. The
Two-edged,
mouth.
the mouth,
The
yeah.
mouth that has both covenants.
Sovereign love.
Yep, sovereign love.
Yeah. So I just wanted to. I know there's people that are going to be a little concerned right now, and we have some amazing people I know that you're in contact with. They're asking amazing questions.
Yes,
and,
they are.
And
it's incredible.
Don't have fear right now. Be excited. Have anticipation. There is love that is coming on a level that we don't comprehend. And yes, at first it might seem like a violent kind of love, but nevertheless, it is love. And if we are tucked into where we need to be tucked into, then we have nothing to fear. And I give no grounds for fear.
No.
It is something that I've had to wrestle through my own self and then render it down to what it really is. It's simply a frequency that I choose to put it in right perspective and keep it balanced as it keeps me out of traffic from walking between the buses, but yet it doesn't control me and just say I can stand in the middle of the street and have a bus just drive through me, right? I'm not quite there yet.
Right. Well, we're closer because we know that the perfection of love casts all that fear out.
Right. But I mean,
And
what I'm
so-
trying to say is that I have common sense, or I have the ability
Right,
to
I'm not
navigate traffic.
Yeah, I'm not going to stand and let the bus hit me.
Right. That's my point. So
Yeah, no,
there's
I get what you're saying.
there's an intelligent
Like-
side of this.
Like keeping yourself out of harm's way.
Keeping yourself out of harm's way is what I'm
Right.
saying. So keep yourself, just don't go places you don't need to be.
Just tuck yourself in.
Be in your own sanctuary right now. This
Yep.
is very important, that this is where we are in the timeline.
Yeah.
And so be prudent, be gentle, be lovely, be with family,
Love well.
and build bridges wherever you can. Whatever measure you have, then extend yourself out graciously to others in that measure, that you may assist them as a bridge.
Right.
Everyone,
So in other words, bringing forth unity instead of division.
yeah, speak kindly, because everyone's going to be in a place of wherever they are, and they may not be where you are, and they're going to feel the pressure. And so we have a responsibility, and this is how things are going to be given and granted based on your level of comprehensions and responsibilities. So
Yep.
it's an amazing opportunity.